Good morning students, I am Maushmi Prasad and creator of this channel Digital Generation. This channel is regarding chapter wise preparation for both ICSE and CBSE students. I hope you will get best knowledge and explanation from this channel. Today we are going to study about electricity in physics. Electricity is a form of energy and it is very important in our everyday life. Without electricity, we cannot imagine a life. Electricity is of two types, static electricity and current electricity. Static electricity is that electricity in which electric current does not move. It remains stationary or at rest. For example, when a glass rod is rubbed with silk cloth or an ebonite rod rubbed with a funnel, then we get static electricity. Lightning is also an example of static electricity. Current electricity is that electricity in which electric charge is in motion or the electric charge flows from one place to another. The electric current in our house is current electricity. Charges of electricity. There are two types of charges in electricity, positive charge and negative charge. Positive charge, when a glass rod is rubbed with silk cloth, we get positive charge, and when ebonite rod is rubbed with funnel, we get negative charge. Now, properties of electric charge are similar to that of magnet. Opposite charges attract each other and similar charges repel each other. Now, unit of electric charge. Unit of electric charge is coulomb. It is denoted by letter C. 1 coulomb is that quantity of electric charge which exerts a force of 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton on an equal charge placed at a distance of 1 meter from it. We all know that atom consists of two types of particles, protons and electrons. Protons are positively charged and electrons are negatively charged. Now, what is the value of protons and electrons? Protons and electrons both have the same value, 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. So, this is a very small unit and thus the value of coulomb must be much bigger than it. What is the value of coulomb? We will find it out. 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb is equal to 1 electron. So, 1 coulomb will be 1 by 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 electrons, or 10 into 10 to the power 18. We will break 10 to the power minus 19 by 10 into 10 to the power 18 divided by 1.6, or 6.25 into 10 to the power 18. Thus, the value of 1 coulomb is 6.25 into 10 to the power 18 electrons, and value of 1 electron is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Now, we will study about conductors and insulators. What are conductors? Conductors are those substances through which electricity can flow very easily. All metals are good conductor of electricity, and non-metals such as graphite, which is a form of carbon, is also a good conductor of electricity. Human body is a good conductor of electricity. And insulators. Insulators are those substances through which electric current does not flow or does not pass through the insulators, like plastic, rubber, paper, dry wood, porcelain, bakelite, cotton. All these are insulators. In this, the electric current does not flow through it. Now, one more term is metal alloy. What is alloy? Alloy means a mixture of two or more metal. Metal alloys are those substances which are good conductor of electricity, but their conductivity is less than pure metal. The three main important metal alloys are nichrome. Nichrome is the alloy of nickel and chromium. Constantan, it is the alloy of copper and nickel. Manganese, it is the alloy of magnesium and nickel. These metal alloys are mainly used for making heating elements of electrical appliances like electric heater, electric iron. All these are made of metal alloys. Now, why metals are good conductor of electricity? We know that metals are good conductor of electricity because it consists of free electrons. Metals have free electrons in their atomic nucleus, and due to these free electrons, the electric current can flow easily in metal. The free electrons means the electrons in the electronic orbits are very loosely bound with the atomic nucleus in metal, and so these electrons are easily given off in metal, and due to this tendency of giving of these electrons, the electrons flow and thus electricity flows from one place to another in metals. Whereas in insulators, what happens? There are no free electrons. As there are no free electrons, so electric current cannot flow in insulators, and there are no free electrons because the atomic nucleus, the electrons are tightly bound with the atomic nucleus in insulators, and so the free electrons are not available in insulator, and hence electricity cannot flow in insulators. Now, electric potential. When a small positive test charge is placed at any point in an electric field, then it experiences a force. Now, work has to be done to overcome this force of repulsion. This is called electric potential. So, what is electric potential? Electric potential is the amount of work done in moving unit positive charge from infinity to that point. It is expressed in volt and it is denoted by letter V. And we know that work done is expressed in joules. So what is electric potential? Electric potential means amount of work done in moving unit positive charge from infinity to that point, and amount of work done is expressed in joule. So we can say that 1 volt of potential, electric potential means 1 volt of electric potential means 1 joule of work done in moving unit positive charge from infinity to that point. Again we know that the quantity of electric charge is expressed in coulomb. So finally we can say that 1 volt of electric potential is 1 joule of work done in moving 1 coulomb of electric charge from infinity to that point. Clear? So what is 1 volt of electric potential? 1 volt of electric potential means 1 joule of work done in moving 1 coulomb of electric charge from infinity to that point. Now potential difference. What is potential difference? The difference of electric potential between 2 points is known as potential difference. Another name of potential difference is voltage. Now we can similarly say that potential difference is volt and is denoted by letter V. V is equal to work done by quantity of charge moved. So what is how we can find the potential difference? Potential difference means work done by quantity of charge moved. Similarly, 1 volt of potential difference means 1 joule of work done in moving 1 coulomb of electric charge from infinity to that point. From this formula, V is equal to, and work done is expressed in joule, and quantity of charge is expressed in coulomb. So V is equal to J per coulomb. By using this formula, V is equal to W by Q, potential difference is equal to work done by quantity of charge moved, we can solve many problems. Number 1. How much work is done in moving 2 coulomb of electric charge from a point of 118 volt to 128 volt. Now we will find that quantity of electric charge here is 2 coulomb given, and potential difference is, what is potential difference we have studied? Potential difference means difference of electric potential between 2 points. So 128 volt minus 118 volt is equal to 10 volt. So potential difference is 10 volt. Now we will apply the formula V is equal to W by Q. V is equal to 10 volt. W has to be found out. Q is equal to 2 coulomb. So W is equal to 20 coulomb. 20 joules. Sorry, 20 joules. So 20 joules of work has to be done to move 2 coulomb of electric charge in a potential difference of 10 volt. And again another example, how much energy is given to move 1 coulomb of electric charge in 6 volt battery. Here potential difference is 6 volt, V is equal to 6 volt, and quantity of electric charge is equal to, each coulomb means 1 coulomb of electric charge, 1 coulomb. So amount of energy given and work done has similar unit, joule. So energy given or work done is same. Energy given is equal to V is equal to, by putting this formula, V is equal to W by Q. V is equal to given 6 volt. W we have to find out, quantity of electric charge move is 1 coulomb. Therefore W is equal to 6 joule. So 6 joule of energy is needed to move 1 coulomb of electric charge passing through a battery of 6 volt. Potential difference is measured by an instrument called voltmeter, and voltmeter is always placed in parallel in the electric circuit. Suppose we have to find the potential difference of 2 points A and B. Now we will place voltmeter in parallel across these 2 points. This is an electric circuit and voltmeter is placed in parallel across the 2 points A and B. An electric current flows and as voltmeter has very high resistance, so very negligible current flows through the voltmeter and it does not cause any changes in flow of electric current flowing through the circuit. Electric current means flow of electric charge or electrons in a metallic conductor. When two charge bodies have different electric potential, then electric current flows from higher potential to lower potential, and this will continue as long as there is potential difference. So the magnitude of electric current is the amount of electric charge flowing through at any given point in a conductor in time 1 second. Electric current is expressed by word I. I is equal to Q by T. Quantity of electric charge flowing in time 1 second. The SI unit of electric current is ampere. And what is 1 ampere? 1 ampere of electric current means 1 coulomb of electric charge flowing through any given point in a conductor in time 1 second. This is called 1 ampere. So what is 1 ampere? 1 ampere means 1 coulomb of electric charge flowing through any given point in an electric conductor in 1 second. The smaller units of ampere is milliampere. It is 10 to the power minus 3 ampere. Microampere is another smaller units of ampere. It is 10 to the power minus 6 ampere. Electric current is measured by an instrument called ammeter. It is always connected in series in the electric circuit. It has very less resistance and so it can measure even the least value of electric current passing through the circuit. See, ammeter is connected in series in the electric circuit so that it can take the value of all the current passing through the circuit. By applying the formula I is equal to Q by T, we can solve the problem. An electric bulb draws a current of 0.25 ampere for 20 minutes. Then how much current does flow through it? Now current here, current is expressed in ampere, current here is given 0.25 ampere and time is given here 20 minutes. 20 minutes means 20 into 60 second is equal to 1200 second. Now we have to find the quantity of electric charge flowing through it. I is equal to Q by T. I is equal to 0.25 ampere. Q we have to find it out and T is equal to 1200 second. So Q is equal to 0.25 into 1200 is equal to 300 coulomb. So how much amount of charge is flowing through the electric bulb? 300 coulomb of electric charge is flowing through the electric bulb when it burns for 20 minutes. Now how to get continuous flow of electric current? To get the continuous flow of electric current, the potential difference is to be maintained. As long as there is potential difference, then electric current will flow from higher potential to lower potential. In a dry cell battery, it has a potential difference of 1.5 volt between its two terminals. This is the positive terminal and this is the negative terminal. So the potential difference is 1.5 volt. If a bulb is connected to the dry cell battery by electric conductor or metallic wire, then what happens? The bulb glows. This is due to because electric current is flowing through it as there is potential difference of 1.5 volt in the battery. Chemical reaction is going on inside the battery, and as long as the chemical reaction is going on inside the battery, then the potential difference is maintained inside the battery. When the chemical reaction stops, then potential difference between the two ends is also ended, and when there is no potential difference between the positive terminal and negative terminal of this dry cell battery, then the bulb will not glow. As long as there is 1.5 volt potential difference, the bulb will glow. Now the direction of current. What is the direction of current? This is the dry cell battery, I have told you. This is the negative terminal and this is the positive terminal. We know inside the battery chemical reaction is taking place. So electrons flow from negative side, so negative terminal to positive terminal, electrons will flow. So inside the battery, the direction of electricity is from negative terminal to positive terminal. When it is connected with a bulb, then the electric current is flowing from positive terminal to negative terminal. So the conventional current outside the circuit is from positive terminal to negative terminal, whereas inside the battery the current direction of current is from negative terminal to positive terminal. Now why metals are used for conducting of electricity? We know the metals have free electrons. When it is not connected with a battery, then what happens? The free electrons present in the metals move randomly at any direction. But when the metal wire is connected with a single cell battery, then what happens? The electrons experiences a force, and due to this force the electrons move in a particular direction from negative side of the metal to the positive side of the metal. Again, the conventional current will be from positive side to negative side. So outside the orbit the current flow is always from positive terminal to negative terminal, and inside the metal wire or inside the battery the direction of flow of current is from negative to positive. Now if we take in a circuit diagram, we will show that direction of current is always from positive to negative. Now see, by connecting here it is an electric circuit, single cell battery electric circuit. This is the switch, this is a closed switch. Now we will place ammeter will be placed in series. If we want to place the voltmeter, we will place in parallel. And direction of current, when the switch is closed, then the current will flow. As the circuit is complete, the direction of flow of current will be from positive side, positive direction to negative direction. And if the switch is open, then what happens? There is a break in circuit, and so the current will not flow, and there will be no flow of current in the circuit. If we place a bulb here instead of a resistor, if we place a bulb, the bulb will glow when the switch is closed, because the current is passing through the circuit, and bulb will stop glowing when the switch is open. What is a battery? A battery is a collection of cells connected in series. This is a cell having positive terminal and negative terminal. Negative terminal is denoted by small line and positive terminal by bigger line. Now battery contains two or more cells together. So we connect here again positive. This is the negative terminal, this is the positive, and again negative, then positive, again negative, then positive. This is a battery consisting of 3 cells. All small lines are having negative terminals and larger lines are of positive terminals. Then we will connect it to the circuit. There are two types of circuits, closed circuit and open circuit. In closed circuit, what happens? The switch is closed and there is a continuation of flow of electrons. So current will flow from positive direction to negative direction and the bulb will glow. If we want to place a ammeter here, then we will place it in series, and if we want to place a voltmeter, we will place in parallel. So this is a closed circuit. And in open circuit, what happens? The switch is open, so there is no flow of current as the switch is open and there is a breakage in the circuit, so bulb will not glow here, and neither the current will flow from positive terminal to negative terminal. So we can say that in closed circuit the current flows and in open circuit the current does not flow. Now see the few symbols. This is the symbol of open switch when current will not flow, and this is the symbol of closed switch. The open switch is also represented like this and closed switch is represented like this. Rheostat. What is rheostat? Variable resistance is known as rheostat. In the circuit, rheostat is placed to vary the resistance, and as the resistance varies, the flow of current also varies without changing the potential difference. One more term is galvanometer. What is galvanometer? Galvanometer is an instrument which is used to detect the current. Now in our next day class we will discuss about Ohm's law. Thank you for watching this video. If you find this video useful, please do like and share this video and subscribe my channel. And if you have any doubt regarding this chapter, then please comment below. I will try to answer as early as possible.